Hey there. Uh, I've been thinking a lot about 308s lately and watching a lot of stuff about 308s, and mostly because I just traded for that FAL. And I don't know, I've been thinking about the M14 versus the FAL a lot because it seems like on YouTube there is a relatively new opinion, I would say, that has this opinion used to be one you would run into here or there or something like that. But in general, most people in the United States that I knew of in like the 90s to early 2000s would have said that they preferred the M14 to the FAL because it was like the M1 Garand. Now, maybe that's just where I live. Maybe where you lived it was different, but that was the feeling I got. And there's been like two or three people, like Military Arms Channel and Small Arms Solutions, and a few other people like that, that have made big videos about the FAL versus the M14. And in every one of these, they are FAL fanboys, admittedly, usually, uh, talking shit about the M14 and saying how we should have adopted the FAL and how we got cheated out of the FAL and yada, yada, yada. I don't know about all that, to be honest. Like, I don't think the U.S. Army was ever going to adopt the FAL. And that's part of it. But, like, to me, both of those rifles are roughly equal. Like, there are some things I like about the M14. There are some things I like about the FAL. But like of like the battle rifles in existence, the FAL is my least favorite probably. The only reason I did that trade because it was a really good deal and it was a variant of the FAL that I at least like compared to some of the other variants of the FAL. I like the British and Australian FALs a little bit better than the other ones. I think some of the improvements that the Brits did to those guns are improvements. The only weird thing I'd give it is that they took out the magazine hold open. So last round fired, it's like an AK. It does not stay open and talk to you or whatever like an AR-15 does. Which if you're used to Western guns, that's odd because like most of the rest of them do that. Um, but for the price, like you can't beat a FAL if you can get it that as cheap as I did the Century Arms I did. And now a Century Arms does come with issues, and that's its own ball of wax. I might do some videos on that in the future, but a Century Arms FAL is not really a rifle. It is a project. Like I doubt that thing runs 100% right now. I think I'm probably going to have to like do something to the feed ramp because it's got the old unibrow feed ramp that they did, which is I don't know exactly who thought that was a good idea. Like it's weird. Normal feed ramp on pretty much most any other rifle has two channels, one on each side for the bullets, right? They just cut like one big trough and just like went, okay, that sort of works. So I'm gonna go shoot it and see how it shoots, and then probably polish the feed ramp either way, and then shoot it again, and then decide how much I want to dump into this thing. But like I would have been just as happy to get an M14 was the point of that, or a G3. Like the only reason I went with the FAL is because it's cheap, and like honestly, I think it's kind of a cool historical gun too. But like any of these are, like that's my argument for these is like if you're only going to own one or two guns, like you can put a 5 round magazine in this and go deer hunting with it in most of the states you'd ever want to hunt in. Like there's some like back east states and like California and Illinois and shit like that where you probably couldn't hunt with that gun, but like in Texas, Oklahoma, Alaska, uh, name another state you'd want to hunt in. I don't know about like Colorado, New Mexico. You have to watch out for legalities, but like if this is the end of the world, who cares, right? And this is kind of my thoughts on owning one of these battle rifles right now. Is like the AR is kind of a tool for a large mechanized army to use, in my opinion. It's not the thing for one individual person to use. Like if you're just going to be out in the wilderness or whatever, depending on where you are, you might want more power or range or both. And none of these are particularly accurate. Uh, I'm hoping that this FAL is on the better end of accuracy and on the worse end, but it's Century Arms, so I'm betting it's shooting a 4-inch group, and that's great. That's the other thing is like I might just fix this thing up and try to trade it for something that'll shoot better. And that's like my only real issue with the FAL is not that they're inherently inaccurate, but like the one that I have is put together by Century Arms monkeys, and like they don't know what they're doing. That they usually fuck up one key detail of almost every gun they make, in my opinion. But this means that they're really, really cheap at least. And I kind of like that because you can go and buy a parts kit that is mostly put together and finish it off in like 15 minutes. And you have like a $400, set me back in the day. Anyway, I don't know what those go for now. It's probably $1,000 gun. Although I think we're about to see a really big crash in gun prices. So maybe not. There's comments. Angry Sleepy 44. You're on your own now. That's cool. I've always done little things here on my own, off and on. Both those rifles. Yeah, I really like the HK91 G3 the best of these three guns. I think it has the best magazines for the least amount of money. PTR makes a really, really good one for like $1,000. Like, honestly, if I do trade the FAL, that's what I'll be trying to trade it for. But I kind of lucked into this. I paid 800, and the dude threw in a Benchmade that was worth like almost 500. So I'm debating now to like sell that Benchmade and just pocket the cash and be like, I got a cheap FAL, or like just keep it all. So I still can't believe that. When it happened, I was like, okay, I thank you for the knife, crazy man. Like, morning Duke with coffee and a joint with Ray Ray. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I just had my morning joint. Saving up for a PTR 91. Only complaint I have about the M1A is that you need the proper tool to make the piston bolt tighten, or it will come loose after 300 rounds. Yeah, the M14 is not the best weapon to never maintain, and like the FAL or the G3, either one win on that. But like, if you have one that was serviced at the armory and was ready to go, it lasts a while. Like, it lasts long enough, I would say. And my thing is, it's not so much that I love the M14 so much, it's that it has a lot of upsides to it. And it's kind of like an M1 Garand, but modernized. And I like that. And it's not like it's the best of the three. It's the only one that does that M1 Garand thing. And that's kind of cool. Yeah, I was wanting to buy a SOCOM 2, or actually, I was wanting the SOCOM 1, I think, 16-inch. I think those are cool. I don't know if it's really worth the squeeze to like lose that much barrel on a 308, but that gun sure looks cool. I bet it has big fireballs. Anyway, I got distracted by the chat. This is why I don't usually look at you guys, to be honest. So, for my money, I would go with whatever's cheapest, is the point of this video. That's the point I was wanting to make with this, is like, these guns are all pretty much equal. And I think these all have decided advantages over most of the other semi-auto 308s out there. Like, all of the hunting 308s are just kind of out, in my opinion, just because I want a gun that will be a defensive gun and a hunting rifle for multiple things, and like you could do a scout rifle for this, and that's kind of where I'm heading for this gun. Is this FAL is going to become my little project, and I'm going to turn this thing into a modernized scout rifle kind of thing. I'm not going to do the scout scope. I'm going to do a aim point or a hollow sun or some shit like a red dot, which I think is better. I just think it is, but a scout scope on that FAL would be kind of bitching though, because then you can still have the carry handle and like all of your disassemblies the same. You don't lose any of that. And like I'm having trouble finding L1A1 handguards because apparently they just don't exist now. So I was looking at rails, and DSA makes a rail that I don't know if it would fit an inch gun or not, but the handguards are supposed to be interchangeable. So maybe I don't know. I might call them before I buy that. But the advantage of that rail is it actually has a 1913 rail on top, so you could just mount your optic there. But I don't know if that would hold zero or not. So it's kind of like I don't know if I want to do that. And there's part of me is like I should just go iron sights. But then at the same time, then you just have iron sights, and that sucks. But it is lighter weight, so I don't know. I'm bouncing around a lot on what I'm gonna do with that exactly, but I'm gonna modify that thing somehow. It'll be fun. Uh, my plan with the SOCOM one would have been the same thing pretty much. I was just gonna put a red dot on that because you don't even have to do anything else to that gun. It already even has the mount on it. That's kind of like back to why I was looking at the M14 or the G3 over a FAL is because either one of those I think is way better to put optics on than a FAL. I really probably should have called this G3 versus M14 versus FAL, but I think I've already made that video, so it's a different video. My other reasoning for 308 is I don't know where ammunition is heading in the future, and I would like to keep my rifle chambered in whatever the standard NATO round is. And if it is this new 6.8 by 51, I've already heard that they are converting 240 Bravos with a barrel change. And if you can convert a 240 Bravo with a barrel change, you can 100% convert a FAL. I would think. Like there's maybe there's some differences. I don't know, but like the thing with the belt-fed machine gun is it's kind of made to take some punishment. So you might want to look into like how much pressure the whole fucking gun can handle or whatever. But in theory, it makes me think that it's doable, and I think that would be cool to have like an FAL or a G3 in the new NATO cartridge if that is what that becomes. And the only reason to do that is just cool factor. Like I think it would be cool. Like maybe it's slightly more effective. I don't know. I don't know if there's any benefit to it really. I think it would be cool. I think that's about it. The only thing with doing that conversion is finding someone to make you a barrel for like a G3 or an FAL is probably going to be interesting. Because like SIG makes barrels, but I doubt they're going to be in the business of making some crazy ass thing for you. So I don't know. I'm going to keep thinking about it. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good morning.